In the heart of the bustling city of Nairobi in Kenya, there was a corner street where people hurried past, minds preoccupied with their daily grind. But there, amidst the noise and chaos, was a simple cart selling street snacks: crispy akara, golden puff puff, and sizzling jollof rice. The smell wafted through the air, teasing the appetites of many. Behind the cart stood a woman named Ngozi. Ngozi was not wealthy, but she had a heart full of dreams. Every morning, she'd rise before dawn to prepare the freshest snacks for her customers. She had a small cart that she wheeled to the same spot every day. But despite her hard work, her stall was often ignored by the city's elite, who dismissed her snacks as too common and for the poor. As Ngozi set up her cart on one fateful morning, a group of wealthy businessmen in suits passed by. They glanced at her cart, then sneered, making comments loud enough for her to hear. "Who would eat that stuff?" one man said with a laugh. "It's nothing but street food for the poor. Do people even eat this garbage?" Another man, adjusting his expensive watch, shook his head. "It's a shame. She could do something so much bigger with her time if she wasn't stuck here selling whatever that is." Ngozi lowered her head and continued with her work. She felt a sting in her heart. It wasn't the first time her food had been mocked, but today it felt different. Her hands shook as she worked, the weight of their words pressing heavily on her. But she didn't let it stop her. "I may be selling on the streets now, but one day, I'll show them," she whispered to herself, trying to hold on to the hope that someday things would be different. Days passed, and Ngozi kept her routine, refusing to let the mockery affect her. One afternoon, while serving some regular customers, she heard a commotion down the street. People were gathering around, whispering excitedly. Curious, Ngozi stepped out from behind her cart to see what was happening. To her surprise, a convoy of black SUVs pulled up, followed by security guards in sharp suits. The crowd parted as a distinguished man stepped out, the president of the country. The president was on a surprise visit to the area to connect with the local people. As he walked through the market, his eyes scanned the vendors, the workers, and the street food that filled the air with its delicious aroma. When his eyes landed on Ngozi's cart, something unexpected happened. He paused, his gaze softened, and he walked towards her. The crowd gasped as the president stood in front of her cart. "What is this?" he asked with a warm smile. Ngozi stood still, too stunned to speak. "These are akara, puff puff, and jollof rice, sir," she managed to say, her voice trembling. "Are these your creations?" the president asked, his tone sincere. "Yes, sir. I make them myself, every day," she replied, still trying to process the fact that the president was standing in front of her. The president's eyes sparkled as he picked up a piece of akara, took a bite, and closed his eyes in appreciation. "This is the best akara I've had in a long time. The flavor is so rich, so authentic." Ngozi smiled, her heart swelling with pride. But before she could say anything more, a voice from the crowd interrupted. One of the businessmen who had mocked her earlier pushed through the crowd. He recognized the president and quickly straightened his tie. "Mr. President," the man said with a wide grin, "I didn't know you were into street food." He sneered slightly. "But honestly, there are much more upscale places to eat. I mean, with all due respect, you could have chosen any of the fine restaurants in the city." The president turned toward the man, his smile fading as he regarded him for a moment. "Is that so? I'm quite satisfied with what I've found here." The businessman's eyes widened in disbelief. "But sir, street food, it's just for, well, the common folk." The president shook his head. "Sometimes it's the simple things that are the best." He took another bite of the akara, savoring the taste. Then he turned back to Ngozi. "Tell me, how long have you been selling your snacks here?" Ngozi, still unsure of the situation, replied, "I've been selling here for several years now. I have a small cart. I make everything fresh from scratch." "Do you have a bigger business?" the president asked, genuinely curious. Ngozi hesitated. "I don't. I'm just one person, and I do everything myself. I don't have the money to open a restaurant or anything like that." The president nodded thoughtfully. "You have something here, Ngozi. This food, it's not just food. It's a taste of tradition, of culture, and it has heart. That's something money can't buy." The businessman, realizing he had no more to say, turned away, his face red with frustration. He hadn't expected the president to respond in this way. As the crowd started to disperse, the president leaned in closer to Ngozi. "What if I told you that I could help you grow your business? I believe the world should taste what you make. How would you feel about opening a restaurant?" Ngozi's eyes widened. "A restaurant? For me? But I've never even thought about it." The president smiled. "You don't need to think about it yet, but with the right support, the right investment, I believe you can take this small cart and turn it into something bigger. People would come from all over to taste your food." Ngozi was speechless. She never imagined that her humble cart would one day turn into something so big. "Think about it. I'll send someone from my team to meet with you tomorrow. They'll help you with the next steps." With that, the president shook her hand and turned to leave, the crowd parting to make way for him. The next day, Ngozi met with the president's team. They helped her with the logistics, the business plan, and funding. Within months, she had her own small restaurant, a far cry from the cart she once pushed through the streets. Her restaurant became a sensation. People from all walks of life came to enjoy her food. From politicians to celebrities, everyone wanted a taste of Ngozi's akara and puff puff. The restaurant became so popular that Ngozi started to expand, opening more locations. She stayed true to her roots, making the same simple yet delicious snacks that had captured the heart of the president. But it wasn't just about the food. Ngozi's success was also about her character. She never forgot where she came from, always giving back to the community. She employed local workers, supported small businesses, and became a beacon of hope for many who had been overlooked or mocked. Years passed and Ngozi's name became synonymous with success. She had built an empire from the streets. But she never forgot the lesson she learned that day. The president had seen the value in her food when others had mocked it. She continued to serve the same street snacks, but now they were enjoyed by people from all walks of life. And whenever someone would ask her how she achieved success, she would smile and say, "It all started with one bite. One moment when someone believed in me." The people who had once mocked her, they were now asking for her business advice. But Ngozi never gloatingly reminded them of the past. Instead, she welcomed them with the same generosity she had shown from the beginning. In the end, Ngozi didn't just build a restaurant empire, she built a legacy. A legacy of perseverance, belief in herself, and knowing that sometimes greatness comes from the simplest of things. Moral of the story: sometimes the smallest of dreams can turn into the grandest of realities. Never underestimate your own worth, and never let anyone else's opinion dictate your potential. Please subscribe for more videos. Thank you.